Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and that root well. And citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here quick little article real fast as we're getting, closer and closer into the end. As you're starting to see in this year, as Apostle Tahar has deemed it, the year of the turn up of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we're starting to see a lot of things being turned up here, man. All right, we're also seeing, these prophecies rolling fast, coming, how do I put it, like the birth pains, those contractions are getting closer and closer and closer. So you have a lot of different things that's popping off at the same time. We're just getting over, still pretty much in the time of the Passover, but nevertheless, hey man, expect to start seeing a lot of bigger things happening. But as we speak, we seeing things as far as again, the global economic collapse that's leading us into what the MOTB. All right, you're starting to see wars and rumors of wars and how all these things are starting to happen. But ultimately, bringing us into that day of that great world war. All right, which is going to be between America and Russia. But also in that scenario, you have what we're going to speak about today is America's allies leaving her out there to dry, man. All right, America's allies are going to wind up, turning on her. All right, so let's quickly read through this here article. We've been going through a lot of these different scenarios about how and why all these things happen. You have some people that's out there that's just looking at the things on TV and the things on the news, and they're not really understanding how certain things have ties to other things. All right, they're not very educated in geopolitical scenarios and things like that. I've been hearing people talk about how the war with Ukraine is fake, it's not even going on, and everything else like that. That's what happens. We have people that so-called smart dumb niggas that's just they repeat whatever they talk about, man, or whatever they hear about certain things, but they don't understand. We have this ultimate script, which is what the scriptures that's telling us what's really going on with these things and how these things all shape up, so we can see how the Lord is putting the hooks back into the jaws of Russia, bringing them back into that old Soviet state. We can see how certain deals that America's making with these other people these are real scenarios that's really pissing off these other nations, that's actually bringing them to that state to where, like we're about to read here, going into what the whore, hate, and the beast. All right, because we know what the outcome, all right, the end game goal with all these things. All right, this is not for, you have certain things where they have fluff shows going on around the smoke and mirrors and things like that. But hey, some of this, is inevitable. All right, a lot of these things. In fact, let me grab that real fast in Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will." All right, and this is one of the main things you have to understand. On a more not as deep level, is the Lord is in control of all these things. For one, this is the Lord's plan that's going on. But on a deeper scale, when you see some of these people that's making these moves, these world leaders making some of these moves, all right, it's ultimately the Lord that's controlling the minds of these people. All right, for what? His ultimate end game goal, man. So as you see in we could go in on a lot of these different things. Maybe we'll kind of we'll see where the spirit goes. But nevertheless, you have Biden that's making a lot of these different changes and things like that. And not just to put it on Biden, because these presidents, they don't really have no power. All right, it's the people that's behind the scenes that's doing a lot of these things. But hey, what a lot of things that they have going on, let's, with this, using Ukraine to get to, they got a real agenda that they're trying to push off what they're trying to do. But hey, things start to backfire on them. Things start to go downhill for them and everything else like that. So what? It leaves them in a bad state, an awkward state. All right. But then nevertheless, it gives other nations like Russia an opportunity to, position themselves in a better place, according to the Most High's plan. All right. This is not according to man's plan. So if you can understand, the backdrop, all right, of all these different things, the prophecy of a lot of different things, all right, then you'll understand, again, not to go too far off topic, but let me get in, all right, I'm going to read a couple of these real fast. Revelation 19:10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See, thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren who have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." So if you're coming in the spirit of the Lord, you have to be coming in what? The spirit of what? Prophecy. You have to be looking for and understanding these here prophecies, man. All right, so also, just to the point, Revelation 14, really have to read all this, but I'll just roughly paraphrase it all. Let me just read it. Revelation 14:1. And as I look, let me preface this by saying in Revelation 5, they talk about the books being sealed, all right, which is what the prophecies. People weren't going to understand the prophecies, but Yahushua was the one that was worthy to understand the prophecies. All right, so real quick, Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having the Father's name written in their forehead. So what? This, like the scripture also say, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. You're going to be able to know what's real and what's fake based off of these certain things, just like how some people was thinking about, there's a lot of different articles in the news right now about how, 1/3 of Americans are willing to so-called aid Ukraine, even if it's a threat of nuclear war and things. Because some of them, they don't believe that the nukes exist. They don't believe that they're going to be targeted to the nukes, right? They don't believe that America would ever get nuked. Some people don't think that the nukes exist. But they don't have this here wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, in their minds to be able to lead them in certain ways, man. Just like when the chariots pull up, man. All right, if you don't have this here mark in your forehead, all right, this understanding, you're going to be like the rest of these jakes out here. Oh, shoot at that. Run from that. Like, bro, that's supposed to be your salvation. But, hey, now it's going to be a threat unto you, man. All right, because, hey, look at how you coming at it, man. You don't have this here knowledge into your mind state. All right, a lot of these other people, like I said, these people who call them the boy who cried wolf, to the point that now they think, of course, Esau's a liar, deceiver, the damn devil. But they believe everything is a damn lie, man. They believe that the whole world is running perfectly fine. They just want you to be in fear of everything. There ain't no such thing as wars. There ain't no wars going on. They just trying to control you. Everything is perfectly fine. But yet they don't realize that they're in a target of, they're going to be ground zero for a nuclear holocaust, basically, man. They don't understand these things because, wow, they're so, how do I say, drunk with these things that everything is perfectly fine. And, like I said, the boy who cried wolf. So now the wolf is actually out there and you try to warn them about these things. Oh, no, that's just a fear tactic. All right, but nevertheless, they don't have this here wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So let me get to the point to verse 4. That says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. And not just with, we speak about this verse going into a lot of the different books and religions and things like that, but also with these philosophies. Because like I said, now you got, like, you can call it a new religion of these, what I call smart dumb niggas out here, like, going back to when you had this here sickness going out and everybody was claiming that it was the 5G that was doing this to people. I was like, bro, they don't got 5G in America like that right now, man. All right, if you really understood how those systems work, you would know that 5G, you would have to have these little small cells mounted every damn where you would see them in your face. All right, yeah, they may be setting up the system, but it's not fully turned on the way you think it's going to be turned on, and that's not for their operation yet. We're not there yet. But see, you had these people, it's like, oh, no, it's the 5G, just turn it on. But then you tell them, well, all right, if the 5G is turned on, show me a tower where these people at that's getting sick. All right, yeah, of course the 5G can do this to you, but show me the towers where the 5G is at. So where you show me these people getting sick at. They would have 5G all over the place. They couldn't tell you nothing about those things, man. All right, but nevertheless, getting back into this here, these prophecies that are speaking, the point here I wanted to grab was further on down where it says, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and unto the Lamb. The point was, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goes. So, hey, we follow him after what? The spirit of Yahushua, which is what? The spirit of prophecy. So, ultimately, we're watching these things and we're comparing it with what? Prophecy, man. All right, so nevertheless, let me grab this other precept real quick, too. And I'm going to get back to that there article. But just laying this here down because, hey, this is one of the important things, man. Because when we watch and we see these things taking place, all right, hey, we were rejoicing because we see these things are popping off, but yet some of these people, they're just going on about their everyday life as if, oh, this is just, that's the new wave of what I'm seeing nowadays, man. You have a lot of people that's out there saying, everything is bad, everything is bad, everything is bad, to the point to where, or everybody, they always lying to us to the point now that they don't believe anything. They don't move at anything, man. All right, so nevertheless, hey, these people going to get caught, like the scripture say, like a thief in the night, because that's just fear tactics. They just want us to live in fear. They just want us to live in fear to control us and everything else like that. Well, who is the they? Again, these people don't really understand wickedness, man. They don't really understand who this damn devil is, man. All right, so going back into Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, it says, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So two things. One, it's not going to lie. It's going to actually come to pass as the scripture says it's going to come to pass, man. All right, the scripture is going to be, the scriptures is going to be fulfilled just like, in a movie script, man. And it's going to be played out just like how it is. You see the bad guy the good guy getting his ass whooped by the bad guy right now, but the movie is written that the good guy is going to prevail in the end. You just got to wait for it, man. And that's the other part. Hey, it's going to surely come. It will not tarry. Right now, like I said earlier, we're in those times where the contractions are getting closer and closer and closer. So now we can see these things are starting to speed up right now, man. All right, so let's jump into this here article real quick. I didn't want to make this too long, but this here's an article from RT. It says, sending NATO troops to Ukraine is a red line, German officials. Now, again, this is why you should be understanding these scriptures. You should be understanding these prophecies, man. So when you see certain things like this here headline right now, you already know what the hell time it is, man. All right, it says, sending NATO troops. Who is NATO? All right, what side is that on? You know, you're dealing with the whore and the beast right now, man. All right, because the whore is controlling the beast. All right, and who is the one moving NATO around? All right, which will be a whore, which is America, right? But it says NATO troops to Ukraine, all right, is a red line, German official. So who is the Germans? Well, what position are the Germans playing? They're playing in a position of being part of the beast, all right, being part of the NATO. But when we read into this here article, what they basically saying is, all right, again, because the whole context is what the whore or the beast shall hate the whore and burn her with fire. All right, now you have these nations, you seeing through the last couple weeks, a lot of these different nations that are part of NATO, which are America allies, all right, are not going with America and their agenda, all right, because America's on a whole bunch of BS, man. All right, they're doing these things to their own profit, their own gain. But the other nations that's following there's a whore, right? Now the beast that's controlling, or the whore is riding upon the beast, controlling the beast. But as the whore is controlling the beast into these little battlefronts and everything else like that, they're not reaping none of the benefits. But they're paying the toll for all these different things, man. All right, and they're fed up with this BS now. So let's read this article. It says, the clear position of the German government is that no NATO soldier will be sent to Ukraine, a government official has said. All right, now all of a sudden you got the beast that's speaking out for the beast right now. All right, again, the whore is the one that controls the beast, so they don't really have no say so. All right, when you go back and you look, let's just take I don't know if it's actually Article 5 or one of those different other little terms that they got, to where if one nation, because Article 5 says if one of them is attacked, they all got to come to their aid. But there's basically another scenario. If one of them go out to war, they all pretty much got to go out to war with them. But you don't see Germany and France, none of them people going to go invade another country, and then America get drugged in. Like, damn, man, now America drugged into another war because France wanted to go and invade somebody. No, it don't work like that. If France wanted to go to damn war with somebody, that's on France. You know, France going out there by themselves. You see what I'm saying? But if America go to war, as you've seen in the Middle East, all right, they done drew up all of the NATO countries to follow alongside with them, even though they didn't want to go, man. Even though it started bankrupting their economies and everything else like that. And even though they didn't benefit from none of those conflicts over there, they still had to go. So now you're starting to see these nations are starting to speak up for themselves now. All right, you had them recently try to do a backdoor deal, more or less to say, with Ukraine, trying to arm them with planes through Poland, and Poland was like, once it kind of went out to the open, Poland was like, nah, hell no. I mean, we'll kind of broker the deal a little bit, but we don't want nothing to do with this here war. We don't want nothing to do with this here conflict. This ain't got shit to do with us, because they know they're over there on that side of the globe to where the blowback, they'll be feeling the blowback from these things, man. All right, and we're going to read into Germany. Now, there's another article about Germany with the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Now, Germany's talking about getting off of their oil and their coal supply from Russia. But now when it comes to this, what is it called, natural gas, they need that shit, man. America's trying to force them to get out of this Nord Stream 2 project, but Germany's like, we can't do that, bro. We not going to sit here and starve so you can look like, oh, save face out here. You know, you got that homie out there. Look, man, you can't make me look stupid out here. So you're going to have to jump into the fight with me, man. He out here blowing smoke up somebody else's ass. And now they were like, you on Wood Army. And they like, yo, you got my back, right? Like, nah, bro, I'm tired of fighting for you, man. Every time I turn around, I got to get into a fight because of what you over here starting. This is now what these nations are starting to say to America right now, man. All right, this is now what they're starting to separate themselves from these things, man. All right, so it says... The clear position of the German government is that no NATO soldier will be sent into Ukraine, a government official has said. And also with that no-fly zone scenario, you know, that was something that America pretty much put up into the air, telling Ukraine that, yeah, we got your back, you know, but not directly. They didn't directly just say that all out there. But then now all of a sudden when they start talking about, oh, we want a no-fly zone on TV and everything, and the rest of NATO was like, if we do this, then we're going to have to sit there and risk going to World War III. All right. So it says, sending any NATO military into Ukraine for any purpose should be a red line. All right, I'm not even going to try to pronounce these people's name, but Stefan, however you pronounce his last name, a German government spokesperson told reporters on Wednesday. Stefan was responding to Poland's call on Tuesday for a NATO peacekeeping mission to Ukraine amid Russia's ongoing military offensive. All right, now a lot of these things sound bland on the outside, but again, you got to understand that, you know, NATO got this scenario. It's like, yo, if one of us get attacked in any form, like if you sneeze on a NATO member, then we all got to go out to war, which is going to bring them all into World War III. Russia's, you know, they pretty much nowadays can fight multiple wars on multiple fronts with multiple nations, just like how America could do it with NATO. But these other nations are closer to Russia, and they will feel the blowback first before America would, and they're not really willing to risk that. It says the German official said that it would be very difficult to distinguish between what would be considered a humanitarian aid operation, and we know whenever Americans say they send in a humanitarian aid or peacekeeping soldiers, or they got another scenario. What is it? You got the blue hats or the blue helmets and the white helmets. But nevertheless, whenever they send them people over there like that, it always ends up, it's like, yo, we bringing y'all sheets, but there's swords up under the sheets. So, you know, it's a, or they got a different iron fist wrapped in a velvet glove type of shit. It looks soft on the outside, but it's really that hard blow that's up under there. That's what they normally do, man. All right. It says no NATO personnel, no NATO soldier to be sent outside of NATO to Ukraine. That is clear, he said, because what are these nations really saying? We don't want to go to World War III and be on the side of America against Russia. We not with that shit no more. So what are you starting to see right now, man? All right, what are you really seeing? Who's coming to America's aid right now? Well, first of all, who's going to Ukraine's aid? Nobody. Physically, nobody is going to Ukraine's aid right now. So if they ain't going to Ukraine's aid, sending soldiers and troops and shit like that to Ukraine, who the fuck you think finna be on America's side when America? Because that's just right now, the government in the Ukraine is a proxy of America. If America ain't going to go back their own damn self up, and America's allies ain't going to go back up America over there, who the hell you think going to back up America in this here onslaught, man? All right, and not just saying this is what we think was going to happen in politicking and so on. Hey, this is what's in the scriptures, all right? Continuing on, it says, this should be a red line, Stefan stressed, adding that there's a clear and determined agreed position on the matter within German, French, and American governments. Some officials from NATO countries had earlier also expressed skepticism over Polish Deputy Prime Minister, idea of sending NATO peacekeeping mission, which would be able to defend itself. But when you defend yourself over there, who are you going to be defending yourself from? The Russians? So if the Russians shoot at you, what you going to do? Shoot back at them. What is that going to do? All right, they're part of NATO, so what does that mean? That's a declaration of war. All right. This guy came up with a proposal following his visit to Kiev with prime ministers of Poland, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic. It says the Dutch and Luxembourg representatives arriving at an emergency NATO meeting in Brussels on Wednesday expressed their complete disagreement with the idea. All right, they're disagreeing with the damn what the whore is saying, and they never been in a position to where they had any say so to speak back. All right, this is just like a child when they're younger. All right, and the mama and the dad tell them this, hey, look, this is what you're gonna eat for dinner. This is what we doing. This is where we going, and this is the time we doing it. They never had no say so in those points of times, but now they have a so-called say so. Hey, now you grown, you can pay your own bills, you can move out. Now you have a so-called a room or a place to stand on. It says, well, let's go back. The Dutch and Luxembourg representatives arriving at an emergency NATO meeting in Brussels on Wednesday expressed their complete disagreement with the idea, while Estonia Defense Minister, I believe it's probably Kalle Lanet, said he was ready to discuss the proposal. Representatives from the UK and Canada said the suggestion will be discussed in Brussels on Wednesday, but chose not to go into detail. The bloc has consistently refused to get directly involved with the conflict in Ukraine, despite numerous requests by President Vladimir Zelensky to set up a no-fly zone over the country. The alliance explained that it would not do so, as that would lead to a direct confrontation with Russia. All right, and that would mean World War III. this is what these people don't realize, the seriousness of this here scenario that's going on. Hey, Vladimir Putin had been out here pleading with you American citizens to tell your mans to back down, to stay your ass over there, keep your nose out of other people's business. But this is what it's done led to. Now your allies are starting to back away from this here scenario. So now you're being less protected. Your global trade is being demolished on a scale, on a main scene and everything else like that. And it's going to ultimately bring you into World War III. All right. It says Moscow attacked Ukraine late in February following a 7-year standoff over Ukraine's failure to implement the terms of the Minsk agreement and Russia's eventual basically recognizing the Donbass Republic in Donetsk and Luhansk. The German and French brokered protocols have been designed to regularize the status of those regions within the Ukrainian state. All right, basically, you know, that was going back to, they don't want to put it out there like that. Basically, America went over there and hijacked Ukraine, set up their public, and then pretty much divided it up, all right? Russia has now demanded that Ukraine officially declare itself a neutral country and that it will never join the U.S.-led, all right, the whore, NATO military bloc, all right, the beast. Kiev insists that Russian offensive was completely unprovoked and has denied claims that it was planned to retake the two republics by force. So, hey, as you see in this here article, man, this is how this here is shaping up, man. Division is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak it not loud. This is what you're starting to see, man. All right, here's another precept real quick. It's about, like I was just speaking on, you know, beforehand, they never had a leg to stand on to say these things to America like that. But now they're able to say all these things. This is Isaiah 14 and 10. Isaiah 14 and 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right, so now it's almost a even playing field, man. Because before, America had that so-called stance that they can be like, look, well, what you going to do without me? I'll provide everything for you and this, and that. You know, let's give it to you an example of a man and a woman or whatever. You know, it's like, well, look, or you know, whatever type of scenario to where, you know, you have a scenario to where it's basically like, you know, one person is dependent on the other person, you know, to eat, to survive, to you know, to keep going on. But then now the other person has got the upper hand. It's like, well, now, you know, I've made up enough money to where, you know, I can go out on my own. I can, you know, take care of myself. I don't need you no more, you know. So now all of a sudden, hey, do what you got to do, but I'm about to, you know, pack up and leave on my own. I don't need you no more. I can provide for my own self now. This is what these other nations are seeing now. Not only can they, well, not that they can provide for their own, but they get a better deal from Russia now. All right, and America's not really giving them a good deal. If anything, they're sacrificing with no return. All right, let's grab a couple more precepts. I ain't want to make this too long, but hey, this is where we at. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy. All right, those that you was in tandem with, you know, you was a conglomeration with, you was partners with. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There's no understanding in them. All right, you know, you started seeing these things with scenarios like with Turkey at first. All right, because Turkey, being a NATO member, got that the S 400, I believe they picked up over there. All right, when America was like, nah, you can't get that because it's going to compromise our F-35. So America kicked them out the F-35 program, put sanctions on them. Then they immediately take the sanctions back off of them and told them, look, bro, just don't order no more. What Turkey do? Double down and order some more. But what can they do at that point in time? Because they need that strategic location over there. All right, what they going to do? Just walk away from them over there like that? Because they need them. Their strength lies into these people, man. These are the legs that America stands on for their buffness and their boldness. Yeah, America has a great military, but you know, sometimes they say you got strength in numbers. All right, so hey, this is what you're gonna ultimately wind up seeing at the end all be all, man. All right, this is going further on down. Oh, let me read this real quick. Oh, too far. Oh, wrong chapter. Just to the point, Revelation 17 is 16. All right, it says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So ultimately, these different nations that the whore is riding upon, which is the beast, all right, they're going to wind up turning on America. They're going to wind up, let me grab one more precept, we'll close out. Like I said, I didn't want to make this long. Let me see, Slack it. Let me find this real fast. Oh, wrong chapter. Slack it. Oh yeah, this is it right here, verse 14. But nevertheless, not only you're going to have Russia and their conglomeration of nations, but you're also going to have America's allies, as we read all day, that was confederate with thee, all right, that eat that bread. They're going to turn on America. All right, the beast that the whore's riding upon, which is dealing with NATO and the EU, they're going to turn on America, all right, and wind up shooting their arrows at her. But let me read this and we'll close out. Jeremiah 50 and 14, it says, put yourselves in array. Let me see what's... we'll just read from here. Jeremiah 50 and 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. So everybody with these missiles, basically. It says, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. Stand against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she have done, do unto her. So, hey, what America wanted to do to these other nations was what? Bankrupting them, making them desolate, cutting them out, breaking their economies and all these different things. So guess what these nations are about to do to America, man? All right, they're about to spoil America. We could read about that in Habakkuk, because I'll spoil many nations. All the nations are going to say how long to him that laid his stuff with thick clay. They're going to suddenly rise up and bite thee, But you're seeing all these here prophecies coming to pass, man. You're starting to see America getting weak when it comes to their allies and things like that. All these nations that was walking toe-to-toe and in tandem with America, no matter what they said to go and do, they was over there going to go do it. But now they're coming to the point, the scripture also say, matter of fact, it's in the same chapter, Jeremiah 50 and, actually, it's, 51? Jeremiah 51 and 7, it says, Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so they was all drunk at first, and when you drunk, you can finesse a chick at the bar or whatever to go back to the crib with you, but then she starts sobering up. She like, oh man, I would have never picked you out. So now these other nations are starting to sober up, and now they start to say, oh, this was a bad deal from Jump Street, man. Now we got to go back to our own homes. Now we want to break away from her and then go find something that's actually suitable for us, man. All right, but nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. I didn't want to make this lesson too long. Hey, Lord's will, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I'm going to say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and ever will. And citation, much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I'm going to say, stay strong. Shalom.